Hello, everybody. I am really excited today to introduce a person. Every once in a while, a person comes into your life that is that defining moment that helps, no matter what you're doing, take the things that you're doing to the next level. I met the person I'm going to introduce you to actually at a networking event, and he had an offer that is what I call an ir, um, irresistible offer that I could not resist. It was a free masterclass. And, I said, what the heck? I mean, I've been on Zoom for a long time. I thought I was very good on Zoom, but I took his masterclass. And guess what? Some of the things he taught me there have been helped me increase my income 10 times from what I paid for the class that he offered me, based on the fact that that was just something to share some great information that led me to him creating a video for me. And this video for me has really helped me as an entrepreneur to be more effective in the things that I do. But it goes even beyond that because of his clients and customers. He allows them to go into like a mastermind networking kind of an event that is always about giving. I continually learn from this guy. He's sort of like, that ever ready bunny that keeps on going. Well, he keeps on giving. He's an amazing person. His credentials, one of the things he talks about is how he directed Charlton Heston, which is Moses. And if he can direct Moses, I mean, this guy's amazing. Gary, I really appreciate the fact that you're willing to spend a little bit of time with me so that we can give, help some of the people that might be listening to this, how they can accelerate their success, how they can be more effective in front of the camera. I mean, there's so much, things that you're able to help people do. So thank you for joining me today. And I'm glad, you're here with us to share, at least so people can get to know you and share some wisdom with us.
Well, I got to tell you, Robert, it is a privilege for me to be here with you. I mean, Robert Butwin is the kingpin of everything on the internet. Literally, everybody knows you and everybody respects you. I've never heard anybody say a bad word about you. And I refer people constantly to you. And you've opened more doors than anybody I've ever seen in my life. It is just a privilege to be here with you. Thank you very much.
Super. And I'm looking forward to some of the wisdoms. I mean, one of the things, because again, I know how important connecting is. And I know that you see when you go into these networking groups that you attend, because, and that's one of the things I really respect about you. You're actively involved, not because you need to, but because you want to make a difference, knowing that so many people are making simple mistakes, and considering the fact that you've directed people for a long time. In fact, when we were doing a one-on-one at one point, we started talking about some of the people that we might know in common. And one of the people that I spoke on stages with for 20 years, twice a year, had been a longtime customer of yours. So I know that you share little tips that make a significant difference as people are in front of that Zoom camera, whatever. So would you like to share some of the, I don't want you to give away too much of what people are going to get in the class, but you've got so much knowledge and wisdom.
Well, that's because I'm an old man and I've been around a long time. I started my career with 3M Company way over 50 years ago as a salesman. I did pretty good at sales, and they promoted me to a sales trainer, training other salespeople, and then eventually to a training manager, teaching public speaking skills and presentation skills. I had them put a video camera in our training room and a video recorder. This was years before home video. Nobody was using video then. It was revolutionary. And when our people got in front of the camera, they couldn't believe the mistakes they were making. A picture's worth 1,000 words, and it revolutionized our training. I fell in love with video, so much so that 10 years later, I left 3M Company and built my own television production company. I spent 35 years in the television production motion picture industry. We used to produce television commercials and infomercials and corporate videos for many of the great companies in the world. Our clients included AT&T, IBM, Motorola, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble. One of your clients or one of your great friends was one of my clients. I produced many videos for your good friend years ago. I sold my business about 13 years ago and retired. That lasted 2 weeks. I got so sick of just sitting around doing nothing. I said, I can't do this for the rest of my life. I've got to do something. And just then, webcams were becoming popular on the internet. And I thought, oh my gosh, I could certainly help people in getting in front of the camera, promoting their business. And I went on the internet about 13 years ago. I didn't know anything about the internet. I am and was a computer idiot, still am a computer idiot. I had a lot of people tell me I've got to spend a lot of money when I started in Facebook ads and Google ads and webinars, and I did. I spent a small fortune, and most of it went down the drain. I'd get a client here and a client there, but I wasn't bringing in as much money as I was spending on the ads, and I had to hire somebody just to figure out how to place ads on Google and Facebook. I wasn't smart enough to know that. Finally, I was losing money, and this was over a period of years. I decided one time I've either got to find some way to promote myself without spending an arm and a leg, or I got to go back to retirement. And I had a good friend that told me about networking organizations. You are an expert at networking. He said, Gary, you ought to go out and give some elevator pitches. And these networking organizations, tell them what you do and what you might be able to do for them. It doesn't cost you anything. He gave me a couple of URLs, and I went to both of them. I just sat and watched, and I was just flabbergasted at the people. One organization had over 100 people on the line, on the call, if you will. Every one of them had an opportunity to give a 60-second elevator pitch, promoting their product, their service, whatever they wanted to promote. I was just amazed at how most people were just struggling. They didn't know what to say. They rambled. The worst mistake they made, they didn't connect with their audience. I knew from my production experience that the only way I could connect with people is to look straight into that camera. The problem is with a webcam, you want to look at the people you're talking to. Now, right now, you were looking down at me just a moment ago, and I lost contact with you. Most people are on laptops today, and as soon as they look down at their laptop, they've lost contact with the people that they're talking to.
Yep.
For the first 3 years I came online, I knew that I had to look in the camera, and it drove me crazy because I couldn't see the people I was talking to, and I wanted to see them. I want to see them shaking their head and affirmatively like you're doing right now. Yep. And I learned a secret after 3 years, how I could look straight at the people I'm talking to or person I'm talking to, see them, and also have them feel like I'm looking straight into their eyes. Now, right now, you feel totally connected with me. And I think any viewer that watches this feels totally connected with me. But if I were looking down at my laptop screen and talking this whole little seminar we're having, nobody would feel connected with me. That's the worst mistake that people can make.
I was guilty of that myself. You know, that was just one of the many things that you corrected it. Then you looked at lighting and sound. I mean, there's so many things that you continually help people make those minor changes that have such a significant, impact on the results that they get. because they're connecting with people.
They are. I've never experienced anything like this in my whole life. You are a master at networking. And I spent all of my time doing two things, going into networking organizations, giving little elevator pitches, if you will. And the rest of my time is training people, coaching them, if you will. Doors have opened for me unlike anything I've ever seen by just connecting with individuals, helping them. You're a master of that. I've never seen anybody nearly as good as you are at helping people. I don't know how you make money. You don't charge people for anything, but I send everybody I can to Robert Butwin. The guy is a genius, literally. I found that after giving or watching these elevator pitches, I thought, I've got to be able to do this. So I created an elevator pitch. And a week or two later, I showed up at two of these places and gave my elevator pitch. Now, I was so stupid in those days, I didn't even have a scheduling form. I had to have people send me their email so that I could send them a schedule to come on a 30-minute free Zoom session with me. I promised them in my elevator pitch, if you spend 30 minutes with me, I will teach you some things that will literally revolutionize your business. Now, I had to fulfill that promise.
And you did. And by the way, you did multiple. I mean, you didn't only fulfill the promise, you continually fulfill the promise because you continually, as I mentioned before, are giving. So, yes.
I found that if I could help people for 30 minutes and give them some real value, and then tell them a little bit about my course, they had no obligation whatsoever, people actually started signing up for my course. It was just amazing. Now, I did this for several years, and then I thought, you idiot, Gary. I was going to networking events and giving elevator pitches and inviting people to a free Zoom session with me. I thought, you've got to put your elevator pitch on a video, a promotional video that you can send to the whole world, instead of just limiting myself to networking organizations. When I started doing that, my business literally started to explode virtually overnight. And I've evolved in my coaching. All I do today is teach people how to do basically what I've learned the hard way to do. And it took me years to develop this program. I help people that are starting out. In fact, many of my clients, many of them, many of my clients are just in the thinking stages, and they need my help to get started. Many are out there and have been out there for years, and they want to develop their business and expand it even more. I work with both types of clients. Virtually, my expertise is in promotion, helping them promote their business, their product, their service, their course, if you will. I actually create videos for each of my clients. First, I help them create an elevator pitch. And boy, these people at any networking organization, you see them every week. They ramble. They're not focused on what they're trying to achieve. They don't even know who their target audience is or what the objective of the elevator pitch is. You got to have an objective, and you've only got 60 seconds in most cases. You need to know what to say in that 60 seconds, and it's got to be done with power and impact to get them to respond the way you want them to respond, to do your call of action, to employ your call of action, if you will. And most people don't have a clue how to do that. Bless their hearts. They've never been trained in how to do that. That's what I do, Robert, as you well know.
That's just a piece. I mean, and you alluded to it because that's really where the power comes in. That video. that you create for them and those clients and customers of yours, it even goes beyond that because you offer, because again, a smart entrepreneur like yourself, like myself, we always take a look at what can we do to be of more value and service. You know, there's a saying that we've heard, your net worth is in direct relationship to the value of your network. So what you do is continually figure out what can I do to help the people that are people that I've already served have more value, how they can increase the things that they're doing to be more effective. And that's part of the one of the many reasons why you're so successful in relationship to the things that you do, because you truly care and you're sharing great insight and wisdom from the things that you've learned, not because of what other people have taught you, but what you've done in the marketplace. So, um, you know,
I love what I do.
yeah.
It's so exciting to see people that are struggling just start to learn and pick up. The greatest single fear that most people on this planet have is public speaking.
Mhm.
Number one, everybody knows that. Most people are just scared to death to put themselves out there and to produce a video or get on a webcam and give an elevator pitch. That scares most people absolutely half to death. And they don't know how to use projection, inflection, enthusiasm, and gestures that I'm doing now to command attention. Those are things that I've been teaching virtually all of my life. And it's so fun to see people that are struggling. I've had people actually break down and cry when they get on a camera. And bless their hearts. People say, "Oh, Gary, I can't do that. That's just not me." And every one of them can do it, and they do it. By the end of the course, we're ready to film them,
Yep.
and they're just amazed at where they've come from day one to day three, if you will. It's just exciting to see those things happen.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that because again, I always show up or almost always show up at your master classes because again, you know, you're continually giving, you're continually sharing your wisdom and knowledge because you've got this vision. When I hear the statistic that 80 to 85% of the entrepreneurs aren't even making $100,000 a year, in my mind, there's something wrong. And people like ourselves are collaborating together with our true intention and focus to help more people break through whatever might be holding them back so that they can create the success. Because really the lifeblood of business today is people like yourself and myself, entrepreneurs.
Oh, I mean, right now, you know this. We talked about it last week in our meeting. Right now, the number two, the second fastest growth field in the whole world is coaching.
Yep.
The second fastest growth field in the world is coaching. And most people struggle. They really struggle. They don't know how to get started. They don't know how to promote themselves. They don't know how to get in front of people to, quote, sell. That's one thing that coaches hate, that word sell. They don't want to appear as though they're selling. But everybody's got to promote themselves and their course, their product, or their service, and they just need direction. And bless their hearts, they haven't gone through school to get training. All of my clients know their product, their service, or their course, their subject. They know it and they love it. They're passionate about it. They just don't know how to present it and how to get exposure without spending an arm and a leg. And even as I was doing, I was spending an arm and a leg, and I still wasn't getting the exposure I needed. And it wasn't until I developed some of the skills that I've mentioned here briefly that things really started to take off. And that's all I do now is help people promote and expand their business. And the key, the absolute key, as you know, Robert, the number one tool on the internet is video. I take my people and their course, their subject, and make an elevator pitch out of it and a promotional video that they now can post and put in emails and LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and a million other places. There's just so much opportunity out there if people have the proper direction.
Exactly. And exactly everything that you're saying is exactly what I did. You created a video opening the vault, and it's so important. And that's really the purpose in relationship to the things that we do. And I know I wasn't an easy person to work with.
I
That's
remember
another subject matter, even though I've been in,
I remember when I first saw you, you were in your man cave, which you're in right now.
Yeah.
With all these wonderful celebrity vests on your wall, and Michael Jackson or Michael
Jordan,
senior moment.
Jordan and Tom Brady and Bill Russell.
I mean, you were in your man cave, but it was like you were in a cave without any light. There was no proper lighting in there. I couldn't even see the pupils of your eyes. Bless your heart. We went through some things, and I love Robert Butwin. He is so easy to work with and such a great mentor to everybody I've seen him work with, and he's been a great mentor for me. I've got to tell you, I've learned a lot of things regarding networking from Robert. He's my idol.
Well, with that said, and I really want people that are watching this to take advantage of your offer, because I know how much it's going to help them. It's helped me. You're talking about, the video that you created, all my social media platforms, it's on there. So it will accelerate the know, like, and trust, so people can feel who I am and get a better feeling for that. So how can people take advantage of, and tell people about the offer in relationship to what it is? Because at one point it was 30 minutes. I think it's 90 minutes today. So they're getting much more value.
Yep.
Would you like to share with people, or would you like to educate and explain people how they can develop a relationship?
I've drastically changed my entire program here recently, if you will. I started years ago just giving 30-minute free Zoom sessions where I taught people some really valuable techniques that would greatly help them in their business. If they're doing anything with a webcam or in front of anybody, those are skills that anybody can use. But I've expanded that greatly now to a 90-minute free workshop. And I teach people how to basically do what I did in starting out in building my business, how to do a 30-minute free Zoom session, inviting people to spend 30 minutes with them free of charge, where they can talk about their subject or their product, their service, their course, and people get to know them. They feel a comfort level with them, and they're 9,000 times more likely to buy from somebody that they've actually talked to, had a chance to ask and answer questions. I teach people how to do that with their own product, service, or course. What I do today is invite people to spend 90 minutes with me, an hour and a half, totally free of charge, in what I call a free webcam workshop, where I will teach you, or teach them, if you will, some skills that will greatly help anybody that's using a webcam in their business. And that should be everybody today, literally. This is the most powerful promotional tool, sales tool, and training tool I've ever seen in my life. But most people don't even have a clue how to use it. That's what I teach them in that 90 minutes, free. Again, at the end of the 90 minutes, I tell them about my paid course, but nobody's obligated to buy that paid course. And I give them an unbelievable one-time only reduced price at the end of the end of the session. But again, nobody has any obligation. I found today that half the people that come to that free session end up being my course members. The other half don't, and they become friends of mine for years. I love every session that I teach, whether I'm getting any money from it or not, I learn something from it, and they learn something that's valuable, and we become good friends for life. So my offer is I will leave a link on the screen, and you can just go to that link and register for a free webcam workshop. I've got dates in the future. Now, I said I give you a one-time only price. I do these, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to continue to do them, but you only get that special price one time only for the rest of your life. You have an opportunity to select a day and a time, and hopefully we can meet each other and learn from each other, and also have a lot of fun. Every one of these sessions really are a lot of fun, and people sometimes are a little shy because I'm talking about things that get you in front of the camera. And I mentioned the number one fear that people have is getting in front of the camera. And you mentioned I've directed a lot of Hollywood stars in my production career, including Academy Award winning actor Charlton Heston. And I tell everybody, wherever I go, if I can direct Moses, I'm not going to have any problem at all directing anybody with working in front of a webcam. And we make it fun and make it exciting. And people make mistakes. That's the best way to learn, is making mistakes. So you don't do that next time. But we have a lot of fun in these workshops. And I invite any of your friends, relatives, neighbors, anybody to come to one of the free workshops, where I promise they'll have some fun and learn some things that'll help them in their business.
You know, as one of your students, now, because I was one of your students, now a lifetime friend, I highly recommend, you need, if nothing else, to attend Gary Rogers' free 90-minute Zoom lesson or masterclass. It will be one of your best decisions you ever made.